So basically, we are talking about the differences between these two cases. So this is case number one, let's suppose, and this is case number two. So basically, in both cases, what is the difference? In case number one, initial velocity is zero, but final velocity is maximum. And in case number two, initial velocity is maximum, but final velocity is zero, right? We can say this is equals to zero, maximum zero. So in case number one, acceleration is positive, and in case number two, it is called deceleration. And this deceleration shows negative change. And what is the difference between positive and negative change? So if you compare the values and then you got idea from the formula that how these values are positive and how these values are negative. But before that, in simple words, we can explain that in acceleration, there is a increase in speed that is positive. So there is increase in speed or increase in velocity. And deceleration means decrease in velocity. For example, if we consider the same values like zero velocity and maximum velocity in both cases, so in both cases, we already mentioned that when the velocity is zero and when the velocity is maximum. So if we directly apply the formula on it, so you will get exact idea. Like in the first case, let's suppose the value of maximum velocity is, just for example, 10 meter per second, right? So 10 meter per second is the maximum velocity in our both cases. So in formula number one, we can write the formula A is equals to, and final velocity means in case number one, final velocity is maximum. So it will be equals to 10. Initial velocity 0 divided by a certain value of time. And in case number two, acceleration is equals to final minus initial. Now in case number two, you observe that final velocity is 0. 0 minus 10 divided by time. Okay. So in the first case, you can see 10 minus 0. So it will be equals to positive value, right? But in second case, 0 minus 10. So 0 minus 10 will give you negative result, right? So it is equals to 10 divided by t. It is equals to minus 10 divided by t. So that's why always remember when we are talking about decrease in speed or when we are talking about deceleration. So always we get negative sign because of change in velocity in opposite direction, right? Because initially we are moving with high value and finally we are at rest state. So that's why we are getting a negative value in our answer. Okay. Any question, any confusion in this?
सर ये जो हमने फार्मूला लिखा है ये लिखना है?
Basically, this formula helps you to understand the difference, or you can write after the class. So it is not compulsory to show in exam questions, दिस इज जस्ट फॉर योर रेफरेंस, ताकि आपके लिए इजी हो जाए अंडरस्टैंड करना कि ये नेगेटिव का कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है, राइट?
ओके सर।
Okay,
यस,
sir.
because sometimes we used to write negative acceleration, but we got confused what is the meaning of this. So just for the explanation of that negative concept, I used to write detail values. Okay, when we practice the question, so I will show you that how we need to write the final answers for acceleration or decelerations. And one more thing related to acceleration, SI unit. So the SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. In short, meter per second square, like this. Okay. So this is the idea of acceleration and deceleration, either it is positive or negative. Now let's suppose if we consider some basic questions like from the MCQs related to speed, velocity, acceleration, etc. So let's see how we can find out the questions and how to solve questions related to these quantities. So kinematics, motion. Question number 2. So in question number 2, a student walks at a constant speed. So now you can see they are talking about speed. It means direction is not important in this question. So there is no direction included. He takes 100 seconds to walk 160 paces. In simple words, paces can be defined as steps. Okay. So a student walks at a constant speed and in 100 seconds, a student completes 160 paces or 160 steps. The length of each pace or each step is zero point 0.8 meter. So the length of one step is 0.8 meter. So how far does the student walk in 50 seconds? So initially we have time 100, but now they are asking about 50 seconds only. So any idea how to solve this question? Okay, to solve this question, working is very simple. First of all, in this question, the initial time is 100 seconds, right? And what is the final time? 50 seconds. So time is now divided into half because from 100 we reach the value 50. So 50 is the half of 100. So now the time is decreased to half and we are walking with constant speed. So if time decreases to half, so what happens to the paces or steps? It also decreases to the half value, right?
Yes.
160 divided by 2. So 160 divided by 2 will be equals to 80. So it means in 50 seconds body covers 80 paces. And the length of one pace is 0.8. So for 80 paces, we can say 80 multiplied by 0.8. So what is the final answer?
64.
64 meters. So this is the first question, right? So this is
Sir, can you explain again? I didn't get the first part either.
okay. Initially, it is very clearly mentioned that a student walks at a constant speed. And we already discussed constant speed means equal distance, equal time.
Yes,
So
sir.
initially, a student total takes 100 seconds to walk 160 paces. Paces means steps. For example, a student walks 160 steps in 100 seconds. And the length of each pace is 80 meter. So the length of each pace or each step is, let's suppose, 0.8 meter. How far does the student walk in 50 seconds? So they are asking about how uh, far does the student walk? It means what is the distance covered by the student in 50 seconds? Okay. And from the question values, we identify that time decreases to the half of its original value, right? Initially time is 100 and finally time is 50. So it means time decreases to half. So if time decreases to half, so definitely paces also decreases to the half, right? Initially in 100 second, a student walks 160 paces, but now in 50 seconds, it is only able to walk 80 paces. Okay. We need to half
Okay, sir.
paces also. So when you got the exact value for the half paces, that is 80. So we can multiply 80 by the length of one pace. So you will get the total length covered by the body during this motion. Okay.
Okay, sir, I got it now.
Yes. So sometimes we will get questions like this from the journal information related to distance and velocities. Okay. Um, Question number 5. A car begins to move. Begins means initially it starts from rest, right? So a car begins to move, it means car is starting from rest. It speeds up until it reaches a constant speed. So car is speeding up until it reaches the constant speed. It continues to travel at this speed, like at this constant speed for the rest of the journey. So what happens to the acceleration and what happens to the velocity during the journey? Okay. So what do you think about acceleration? What do you think about velocity of the car during the journey?
Sir, both the acceleration and the velocity change.
Right. So both acceleration and velocity changes. Because initially we started from rest. So definitely initially speed is equals to 0. Then it speeds up. So definitely when body is speeding up, so acceleration changes. And very clearly speed also changes, right? This is positive acceleration. So that's why both quantities are going to be changed in this scenario. Okay. Secondly, Okay, so in question number 7, a lorry takes 15 minutes to travel along the path PQRS. What is the average speed of the lorry? So basically in this question, we need to find out the average speed of the lorry. Okay. So to find out the average speed of the lorry, what we need to do? For the formula of the speed is equals to distance upon time. Okay. So first of all, you need to find out the total distance. Average speed means overall speed. And also you need to cover the total time. So how to find out the total speed and what is the total distance covered by the body? So initially body covers 8 kilometer, then 3 kilometer, then 5 kilometer. So these are three values covered by the body. So to find out the total distance, we need to add them and time is also given, right? So you try to find out the speed. Okay, you mentioned that we need to add the distance. So total distance is 8 plus 3 plus 5.
So I got the answer of D, 64 kilometer per hour.
Okay. So body covers total 16 kilometers, right? And secondly, if we talk about the time, so time is given in minutes. So when time is given in minutes, so now we need to convert this time into hours, right? Because right now time is given in minutes and in answer you see that all are in 1 hour. So it means we need to convert time, right? So if we need to convert this time, so minute is a small unit or hours is a small unit. Which unit is a small?
This is small.
Minutes.
We'll
Minutes.
divide by 60.
Yes. So always when we need to convert a small unit into large, so you know that we need to divide it by the quantity. So it means 15 divided by 60. Because in 1 minute there are 60.25. So 16 divided by 64. So it means the answer you got D, that is right. Kilometer per hour. 64. Okay. So these are some questions related to the distance and velocity idea in this worksheet. You will also got more question. I will take a screenshot and post in LMS so you can practice. those questions by yourself related to velocity, acceleration, distance, and displacement, right?